In 1997, a masterpiece was born. In 1997, a game that echoes through time, for me anyway. It's a terrifying experience as a kid in 1997, seeing this in the arcades. And then it followed on to the Sega Saturn and Windows PC. And now, in 2022, it has arrived on that sweet Nintendo Switch, the House of the Dead Remake. Now, before we start this review, I am using it with gyro controls, and it can be awkward with gyro controls as well. It does work, yes, but it takes a little bit to get used to. It tries to simulate and mimic a light gun the best it can, but overall it's just very, very shaky, and my accuracy sucks with one of these. Or maybe that's just me. But the light gun is heavier and it mimics a real gun because of its weight, because of its heaviness. But the Joy-Con is very light. It's just one controller and it'll be hard to keep this still on screen. And the best way I've figured out how to do this is hold it like this, treating this like an actual light gun like back in the day. It really does make the difference holding it with two hands rather than just trying it with one hand, being all shaky and all over the place. Your accuracy will be much better treating the Joy-Con like an actual light gun with both hands. Your accuracy, it won't be shaky anymore. You'll have it steady, you'll have it under control, and it'll just be a much better, smoother experience for you. Now, the story to this game, it's a very generic story really. It takes place in a mansion, and there's an evil doctor who falls into madness, researching immortality to create an undead army of zombies that threaten the world, and you can choose from two characters to go in there and foil his plans. You can play as one of the EMS agents, Thomas Rogan, and Agent G. You are tasked with going in there to investigate the disappearance of missing researchers, including Rogan's future wife, Sophia, and putting a stop to the Doctor and his undead army with 4 chapters in total to blast your way through. With 3 endings and a rating score on how well you did at the end of the game, with all of the cheesy voice acting perfectly intact, playing alone or with a friend. Now, we've touched on the controls, the light gun experience with the Joy-Con a little bit. Handheld mode is perfect for this game. On the OLED screen, it just pops. It looks gory and glorious on the Nintendo Switch OLED in handheld mode, if that is your method of play. You can use analog controls no problem, and they actually do work really, really well. But if you are playing this, let's be honest, it's going to be using gyro controls to simulate using a light gun. You can use a single Joy-Con using its motion controls IR sensor in that Joy-Con. Reload by pressing the B button, which you'll be doing a lot. Now, if your method of play is using the Joy-Con, I wish when it comes to reloading that you can gimmick a light gun like back in the day. Facing your gun away from the screen to reload, instead of just hitting the B button, which takes the fun out of it a little bit. It takes you out of that experience a little bit, having to press a physical button on the Joy-Con to reload instead of just pointing your gun away from the screen. You'll be blasting your way through different types of mutated zombies, creatures, bugs, and bosses. You'll also be shooting boxes, barrels, and crates with interactive objects in the environment that will give you more points or a medkit. Enemies will also be throwing projectiles at you from knives, barrels, and more that you can shoot out with their hands, or if they do manage to throw it, time it right and shoot it out of the sky. And you will always need to have that trigger finger at the ready, because some zombies are fast. Some zombies will leap at you and jump at you and be right around the corner as you go around the corner, and they'll catch you off guard. So always have your finger on the trigger, ready for surprises. And as you go, you will be saving researchers with timed attacks before the zombie gets to them, or throws them off a bridge, or brutally kills them. And if you save the researcher in time, they will give you a key card or a med kit, or point you in the right direction to go on a different path, or they'll just say thank you and run off, and you'll get extra points added to your score. No matter what you do in the game, be it killing, saving researchers, shooting things in the environment like barrels, crates, and boxes, they will all give you points. Also, depending on where you do shoot a zombie will depend on how many points you get rewarded. Points will be used to bring you back to life as well. If you run out of coins after dying so many times, there will be so many times you can continue before it's game over and you have no continues left, and then you'll need to start all over again. Points that you build up, spend your points for more continues, which mimics the coins in arcades back in the day essentially. All creatures, monsters and zombies that you do battle with all have weak points, especially bosses. Weak points will be highlighted before going into that boss fight. So lock and load that Joy-Con and start shooting. While you play through the game, you are only equipped with a pistol throughout. But if you do manage to save all of the researchers, you will unlock an armory where you can change your weapon in-game, which will turn you into a zombie killing machine. Also, be sure to look around a little in areas to discover different paths you can take by shooting trapdoors in time and more, with branching paths to take depending on the situation. Now, the new features added to this game is modern scoring with local leaderboards, statistics and in-game achievements. Like this one. Whoops. I mean, achievement unlocked, so worth it. It's all good, really. Now, on my first playthrough, I just seemed to follow the generic path, and on my second playthrough, I ended up seeing new areas and pathways that I didn't previously venture into. You won't be seeing everything on your first playthrough, that's for sure. Potentially not even on your second playthrough, and with the 3 different endings as well, which is where the replayability really does shine through. It's a very short game, yes, but so much replayability and hours upon hours of fun shooting zombies in the campaign, going through that, or tackling horde mode, competing with your friend via competitive for the highest score, or just you and your friend working together through the game, through the campaign. Now, when you start the game, you start each level with 3 health bars that can be maxed out to 5, armed with a pistol as you shoot your way through hordes of zombies, progressing through each chapter. With the new feature Horde Mode, that throws in overwhelming odds of zombies all coming at you together. It gets very busy on screen as you shoot your way through hordes of zombies with overwhelming odds. Classic scoring is based on the arcade version of the game that goes off each individual kill, and modern tries to get you to kill quicker for a combo system. There's also a local multiplayer that will have you working together with another player, or you can go head to head in score attack. Now, this didn't happen in the original game. When you shoot zombies, their limbs will fall off. As you shoot parts of their body, you'll see their leg pop off or their arm pop off. Their limbs will fall off and bits of flesh popping off them as you shoot at them. And then they'll explode into a gory mess. The ragdoll effects in this game is perfect. It's glorious. This game though, honestly, it looks and feels great. Graphically, it's a very good step up from the original arcade version with great visuals overall, with minor pop-ins and lag every now and again, and occasionally there'll be zombies attacking you off screen and the camera won't pan on the zombies attacking you, it'll just focus on this certain area instead of that one. But nothing game breaking. Nothing major that'll take you out of how awesome the House of the Dead remake is. But what I think would have been nice though, you can toggle performance mode on and off, but I think what would have been a really welcome feature is switching between graphics. So switching between new and old graphics to compare would have been a great feature to have, to see what the game was like back then to what it's like now, all updated, modernized with HD visuals on the Switch. But while you can't switch between old and new graphics, you can switch between performance mode, having it off or on, which makes a huge difference to just playing the game visually and just performance. Overall though, this game has got some true tender loving care on the Switch. Yes, the gyro controls take a little bit to get used to, but once you get it nailed down, you'll be golden. House of the Dead on the Switch is a must. It is an eShop must buy, a must play. It's it's a thing of beauty having House of the Dead on the Nintendo Switch. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time.